So a relative of mine has a European geography test soon, and I thought it would be best to train him in European geography in the best way I know how. Not with quizzes, not with drills, not with those moving things around the map. No. I learned geography through historical war games. The question, of course, is which one? I have been playing Empire, Napoleon, Total War for like 15 years at least. You might say, oh no, why not go with, Paradox? Hearts of Iron for more modern stuff. Or Victoria for a little older. But look, this is a guy and his whole family, they struggle even with Settlers of Catan. Even I struggle with Hearts of Iron. I think Napoleon Total War is the best place to start. And I'm doing this all unscripted. So you'll probably notice that this isn't the original Napoleon Total War. This is a mod. It's called Darth Mod. It's very simple to download. You download it at ModDB, and it makes Napoleon more like what it should have been initially. The battles are much better, smokier, bigger units, and the units move better, more like real Napoleonic battles. A cool addition to this mod is you can have it where all of the countries that you can create in the game as vassals, you can play as them. And that's very relevant to our video. I'm going to go through the map, both in the game and in real life, and I'm going to be doing both of them from memory. It's like a kind of flex. We're going to start west and move east. And we're starting with Portugal. Portugal is the same as it is now. But then there's Spain. Spain is represented by several provinces. You've got the Spanish core. You've got the Balearic Islands. Then you've got two provinces north of Spain's core. One of them is Catalonia. Catalonia is a very distinct cultural region from Spain itself. They don't even speak the same language. Also on the Iberian Peninsula, which includes Spain and Portugal, is Gibraltar. And Gibraltar is owned by Britain, so let's head up north there. Britain is represented by 5 provinces: Ireland, Scotland, Wales, and England. Britain's out of the way. Let's move south to the big guy, France. France has one big core province and several around it. Just north of the English Channel is Brittany and Normandy. There's also Picardy. But France holds one province that it doesn't hold now. That is Belgium. South of France's core is Aquitaine, Bordeaux. I'll see if I get that right. Then Marseille. And then there's Alsace-Lorraine. Alsace-Lorraine is French for now. France also controls the island of Corsica, where Napoleon is from. And they also control Piedmont in Italy. With that out of the way, let's move to Italy. At this point, Italy is not united. The provinces that will become Italy in about 50 years from the time of this game, 1805, are squabbling city-states dominated by either France or Austria. There's Sardinia, which was unified with Piedmont just south of Corsica. And the island to the furthest south is Sicily. Across from Sicily is Naples. And north of Naples is the Papal State. Vatican City was formed in 1922. However, the Pope was an Italian prince, practically, for much of the papacy's history. North, there's the Kingdom of Italy, which Napoleon formed as a vassal state. And next to the Kingdom of Italy is Venice. And Venice is currently occupied by Austria. And we actually have Napoleon to thank for that. North of Italy is Switzerland. Switzerland isn't exactly neutral yet. On the subject of French vassal states, there's also the Netherlands, which in Napoleon Total War, I'm pretty sure is called the Batavian Republic. Let's move on to Austria next. Nowadays, Austria is practically West Switzerland. But the Napoleonic Wars was almost their last golden age. You might recognize some European countries by going through Austrian provinces. I already mentioned Venice. Let's look north of Austria. There's Bohemia and Moravia. You would be correct in thinking that Bohemia is the core of what is now the Czech Republic, but so is Moravia. But let's move east to Hungary. Hungary in this game controls what is now Slovakia. Now let's move south. I think I can name which. I want to say it's Slovenia, and I'm probably wrong. I will check. And then there's the Balkans in one big chunk. I will tell you that Empire Total War does a much better job of showing the Balkans. I'll get to that later. And south of the Balkans is Greece. West of the Balkans are Wallachia to the north and Rumelia to the south. Rumelia contains Bulgaria and the European part of Turkey. Moving northeast, there's the Austrian province of Transylvania and the Ottoman province of Moldova. Any three of these provinces can form what would become Romania. That's Austria mostly covered. Let's head north of Austria to Prussia. Sardinia in Italy would unify Italy. Prussia, to the north, would unify Germany. Prussia is made up of several provinces. Many of them are German, but they also control Warsaw. Remember, this game is set in 1805. 10 years earlier, Prussia, Russia, and Austria partitioned Poland amongst themselves. Galicia was also part of Poland. Poland was very big. But now let's move to the center of Europe. Where's Germany? Germany, like Italy, isn't a unified country yet. There are lots of different states. Bavaria, Hesse, Baden, Mecklenburg, Ulm. Hanover at this point is controlled by France, and Cleves is controlled by Prussia. Things are going to change since it's a big war that's just going to happen. Let's talk a little bit about Scandinavia. Sweden is in its historic location, as is Denmark. On the subject of Sweden, it is from this conflict, the Napoleonic Wars, that Sweden, like Switzerland, also gains its neutrality. Norway is a part of Denmark, but in this conflict that will change. Sweden also controls Finland, which is also going to change. Let's move south to Russia. The game doesn't model it, but at this point, Russia's capital isn't actually Moscow, but St. Petersburg. Russia hasn't achieved the territorial expansion it achieved under the Soviet Union, or even after the Napoleonic Wars. But Russia controls the Baltics and Belarus and Ukraine. And when I say the Baltics, I mean Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania. Eastern Europe is not perfectly modeled in Empire Total War. Here's how I know this. Someone made a mod turning the Napoleonic Wars into World War I. They had to fudge it a lot, where Germany controlled Poland instead of Russia. That was how the map was organized. And yes, Russia currently controls Crimea. There's another factor of European geography. I don't know if it's going to be covered on your test, but it's still extremely important, including for military affairs, and that is the rivers. I'm less solid on the rivers. I can name some of the big ones. There's the Rhine, which goes from the English Channel to the center of Europe. French expansion was focused on getting France to the Rhine River, which this map, with France controlling Belgium and Alsace-Lorraine, shows. There's also the Danube, which was a critical river for the Austrian Empire. There's the Seine and the Rhone, the Po in Italy, the Oder in what would become Poland, the Dnieper in what is now Ukraine. There are plenty more, but this is probably a good starting point on rivers. That's Napoleon Total War. I hope it helps you figure out where things are in Europe. It helped me. I figure I'd show a bit of Empire Total War as well. It's set a century earlier, starting in the year 1700, a whole century before Napoleon Total War. The main thing you'll notice is this big red blob in between Prussia, Russia, and Austria. That is Poland. Because Empire Total War models pretty much the whole Atlantic world, plus India, France and Spain are just single provinces with some extras. Germany and Italy are similarly disunited. There's still lots of city-states. The most interesting part is the Balkans. Empire Total War shows much more divisions that would eventually become the modern states of today. Serbia, Croatia, Bulgaria, Romania. Sweden also has an empire in the Baltics, as well as the small state of Courland, which is a vassal of Poland, what would be modern-day Lithuania. Russia is further east, and Moscow is their capital. There's plenty more to show with Empire Total War, but I think that's enough for now.